The internet changed how we work. AI is changing what work gets done. A bank cut loan processing from days to hours. A student built an AI scheduler, improving on-time delivery from under 70% to over 90%. Most teams know AI matters, but aren't sure where to start. InAI is Indiana's statewide AI adoption effort, built with industry, academia, and community partners, helping you move from understanding to action. Visit inaiready.com.
This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Tuesday, August 11th, 2026. I'm Alex Brown. The Chicago Bears might soon have an update on the team's plans for a new stadium in Hammond. Team owner and chairman George McCaskey told reporters on Monday that the team is continuing to evaluate a second site in the city. While the team has not directly identified the specific location, media outlets, including NBC Chicago, have reported that it's considering Wolf Lake Terminals, an 83-acre industrial site near the golf course at Wolf Lake that has previously been discussed. While McCaskey did not offer any details on a potential timeline, pinning down a site for the project is among the most significant hurdles in the team's stadium pursuit. Willoughby Industries, a manufacturer of stainless steel and solid surface plumbing fixtures and accessories for healthcare, education, corrections, and commercial facilities, will invest $10 million in a new corporate headquarters and manufacturing facility in Zionsville. Boone County officials announced today that the move is expected to create more than 100 full-time jobs. 7 Indiana cities are included in the 2026 Best of the Midwest Startup City rankings, though all of them are at lower positions than last year. The list from Midwest Startups ranks 64 cities based on startup activity, startup founders' access to resources, and business climate. Indianapolis remains the highest-ranked Indiana city on the list at number 5, tied with Detroit, but is down 2 spots from the previous 2 years. You can see the full list at InsideIndianaBusiness.com. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Thanks for listening to this IBJ Media podcast. You're probably going to remember this ad. Do you know why? Podcast advertising works. 85% of listeners recalled hearing an ad during a podcast, and 70% of podcast listeners have acted after hearing an ad. So whether you're looking to be heard across the entire IBJ Media Podcast Network, sponsor one of our shows, or just start with a 30-second ad, IBJ Media can help. Contact advertise at ibj.com to learn more.
Indiana's literacy rates exceeded pre-pandemic levels for the first time this year as the share of third-grade students reaching proficiency on the state reading exam inched up to 88.7%.
The 5th consecutive annual increase in iRead proficiency rates comes after years of state support and reforms, including an increased number of chances to take the test, mandated literacy training for certain elementary educators, and an infusion of state and philanthropic funds for tutoring and early literacy instruction. While the latest reading scores released Tuesday are an increase from the 2019 pass rate of 87.3%, the overall proficiency rate is still well short of the goal officials have for 2027, when they hope to have 95% of all Indiana students pass the exam. It falls just below the state's highest pass rate of 91.4% in 2012-2013, the first year of the test. Scores improved since last year across nearly all racial and ethnic groups, as well as for students eligible for free or reduced price meals, for students with disabilities, and for English language learners. The overall pass rate, representing 72,000 of over 81,100 third graders tested, includes students who passed the test in 2nd grade during the 2024-25 school year and includes students at both public and private schools. It's unclear how many third grade students will be retained in the 2026-27 school year. Last year, 3,040 students repeated third grade after failing the exam, out of 84,000 students tested. The department has not released the demographic data of the students retained last year. Abriana Herron, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Following immense pressure from the community, the Indianapolis City-County Council voted Monday evening to establish a moratorium on data centers until the end of 2027. Last month, the city's Metropolitan Development Commission approved a proposal to create a special zoning district for data centers. The commission sent the proposal to the City-County Council's Metropolitan and Economic Development Committee, which amended it by adding the moratorium. The commission must meet again to approve the amended proposal. The seasonal flu is in the crosshairs of Purdue University-based startup Eradivir as it takes a big step toward destroying the virus that has plagued humankind for generations. The biotech startup has marked a milestone by giving its drug, called EV25, to the first flu patients in a second Phase 2 study in Bangladesh. Chief Science Officer Dr. Jeffrey Nielsen said EV25 takes a new approach by tagging the infected cells so your own immune system can come destroy them and remove the virus from your body.
Unlike an antibiotic or an antiviral that you might have to take for 5 days, our compound is a single dose, and it removes the virus very, very quickly. And because of that, your symptoms improve very, very quickly. We saw that in our first challenge study.
Nielsen said in the previous clinical trial, researchers saw an 84-hour reduction in the time it took to recover from the flu. The Bangladesh study aims to clear the way for the larger final trials that the U.S. Food and Drug Administration will need for approval. USA Gymnastics CEO Kyle Albrecht is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now on the IBJ Media app or your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.